Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's staying safe as things are starting to open up again. I hope you all are maintaining social distance, wearing a mask, and washing your hands. Um, today we are going to talk about some of our smaller critters. We're going to talk about rabbits and rodents. So in our rodents, we have guinea pigs, hamsters, rats, the ones that we're going to talk about today. And rabbits come under lagomorphs. Let's get started. Let's talk. We'll just talk generally about what we should feed them, what goes into taking care of them. So, for a lot of these guys, they come under prey species because they are not, obviously, they're not predators. They are the ones that are hunted. So, that's one of the main things when it comes to taking care of them. They obviously get scared very easily. It's very easy to stress them out. So, we have to be very careful when we handle them. We have to be very careful even when we are feeding them. Okay, with regards to the diet, they have extremely sensitive digestive systems. Any change or anything wrong in their digestive system is an emergency when it comes to rabbits and rodents. The number one thing that any small mammal owner needs to know is that they need to check their the poop every single day. Okay, checking poop is extremely important in these guys. So any changes in the poop, in the size, the consistency, in whether they are pooping or not pooping, is extremely important to know the health of these little critters. All right. And even not eating for a single day is life threatening to these guys. Okay, so they need to constantly be eating. They spend about 80% of their time eating and foraging. That's how their life is. I mean, it's a great life, but they're also constantly on the lookout for predators. So yeah. They have a very high metabolic rate, which is why they eat so fast, which is why they eat so much. Also, okay, let's talk first about rabbits. Okay, now a lot of us think we've seen Bugs Bunny growing up. We think, hey, what's up, Doc? Is what rabbits eat, which is carrots. When we think of rabbits, we think of carrots. But of course, that's not true. Carrots do not form a very large portion of the diet for rabbits. Okay, so the biggest, most important portion in a rabbit's diet is hay. They need hay 24/7, which it needs to be available to them 24/7. So hay, good quality hay, is a very important part of their diet. Now here in India, yes, of course, we do get imported Timothy hay, but we can also give them durva grass. I know some people, a few patients of mine, who even dry their own hay at home. So if you can do that, you can get durva grass, dry it on the terrace, dry it in the sun, make it really dry, and feed them that. So you can have your own homemade hay as well. But yeah, of course, we have hay available in the market as well as packaged hay. Timothy hay is, of course, great. Um, so hay forms a huge bulk of their diet, and I always tell people to keep hay available 24/7. There is no cap on how much hay they should be eating. Okay, so hay also helps to keep their teeth in shape because these rabbits and rodents, their teeth grow throughout their lives, so they constantly need some wear and tear that needs to keep happening to the teeth in order to keep them in shape. And because if the teeth overgrow again, it's a procedure that we have to do. We need to burr down their teeth, or in extreme cases we need to extract the teeth if it's really bad. So dental health is extremely important in these guys, and it can be a life threatening situation if it's not managed well. So giving hay is an extremely large and important part of their diet. Now, pellets. Okay, rabbit pellets are, of course, rampantly available. There are many brands available. Now, pellets do not form a very large part of their diet per se. I would say pellets in this case would be about 10 to 15% of their diet. A lot of people I see tend to feed a lot of pellets to their rabbits, which makes them quite obese because that is overfeeding, and it's a very concentrated the nutrients and everything, the food is concentrated in that pellet, so they tend to overeat, and yes, they do become obese. A lot of it also has to do with a lack of exercise, which they don't get in most city houses. So exercise is a huge important and a part of their lives. They need to be able to run around. They need to have active lives. They can't just be sitting in a cage. So for a 2 kg rabbit, the recommended amount of pellets is about 1/8 to 1/4 cups, which is like about half of a small mutti. Okay, just that much in the entire day. They don't need more than that. Okay, so when we fill up their bowls and keep, no, that is absolutely not necessary. They need a very, very tiny half a fistful of pellets in the entire day. Okay, now let's come to vegetables. Okay, we've spoken about hay, we've spoken about their pellets. So green leafy vegetables form a good portion of their diet. So we have lettuce, we have mustard greens, which is sarso, we have coriander, we have carrot greens, cauliflower greens. So these are the leaves of the vegetables. Okay, so and you need to give them a variety of these greens. You can't just say one day I'm going to give lettuce, one day I'm going to give this. No, it has to be like a salad. It has to be mixed up and given. Then also we need to provide them with veggies, of course. So great vegetables to give them are different colored capsicums, bell peppers. Okay, so capsicum, we have broccoli, which is also great, pumpkin, wheat grass, which you can also again grow at home. So wheat grass is also great for them. Then fruits should be given about once or twice a week max, that too just a small portion. Okay, so fruits like apple, pear, berries, watermelon should be, you should give it to them. But always look at their poop. Okay, whenever you're feeding them, if an excess of anything is causing them to have soft stools, you need to probably adjust the quantity of that. Or if they're still having soft stools even after adjusting, you probably need to remove that item from their diet. Okay, so you need to be very observant whenever you're feeding them. You need to know what you're giving them and also how their body is reacting to it. Okay, so water, fresh water has to be available 24/7. Okay, they drink from bowls, they drink from bottles. If you're giving them one of those sipper bottles, you need to make sure that you're cleaning it thoroughly, that there is no blockage in the tubes. Okay, and that water needs to be changed at least twice a day. So always fresh water has to be available. Okay, I have a question that I'm going to take very quickly from Sumant. Can you please talk about feeding cabbage to rabbits? Long time feeding can lead to thyroid problems. Okay, so yeah, cabbage, of course, not in large quantities. It also tends to cause a lot of gas. So I wouldn't recommend feeding cabbage on a regular basis. But yeah, just a small quantity, if you're giving it once in a while, is fine. Okay, so I hope that answers your question about the thyroid in rabbits. There's still not enough research that's been done on cabbage leading to hypothyroidism in rabbits. Okay, but it has been shown in humans and some reptiles as well. But yeah, so a small quantity is okay, but obviously not in excess, because I have seen in my cases that it does lead to formation of gas. And again, gas is an extremely painful, and it can be potentially life-threatening in this species. So please be careful. You always have to keep an eye on them. If you find that their stomach is bloated at any point in time, if they are not pooping, if they have stopped eating, you need to observe your pets to know whether they're in pain or not, and you need to contact your vet immediately. Okay, so this was about rabbits. Let's talk about guinea pigs. Okay, so guinea pigs also need hay. Okay, hay has to be available at all times. It is again the same like we spoke about previously. Timothy hay, durva. You can give. Okay, you can give your homemade hay as well. There are many other hay brands available in the market as well, so you could feed hay. So again, hay is a very important part of their diet. Now the special thing about guinea pigs is that they always need vitamin C. They need an external source of vitamin C to be given to them. So even when you're feeding guinea pigs pellets, you need to make sure that you get pellets that have fortified vitamin C in them. Okay, so just read the packet. Okay, if it says it's fortified with vitamin C, great. Okay, you can feed it. Now again, for guinea pigs, the pellets, the amount of pellets that you feed them is only 1/8 cup a day. 1/8 cup again is like a cap full. Okay, a cap full of pellets in the entire day. We really tend to overfeed these guys, especially with the pellets, and they tend to become very obese. So just a small quantity of pellets throughout the day. But again, hay has to be available whenever they want to munch. They should go and munch on hay. Okay, it helps with their digestion, it helps with their teeth, and it doesn't make them obese, right? Again, green leafy vegetables for them. Now carrots, even for rabbits, carrots can be given, yes, but carrots are also quite high in carbohydrates and sugars. So carrots, I would suggest maybe one stick of carrot twice a week is enough. Okay, like a small carrot stick is enough per guinea pig or per rabbit. Okay, zucchini is also great, but also zucchini once or twice a week can be given. Fruits have, especially for guinea pigs, in a very small portion because they are extremely high in sugar. um, so we have apple, pear, banana. I'm talking quantities like one slice or a thin slice of banana. That's it. Okay. High vitamin C fruits, yes, as a treat, once a week is great, like kiwi, uh, strawberry. Okay, orange, citrus fruits. Okay, those once a week, just it's a nice vitamin C boost. High vitamin C vegetables are capsicum, broccoli, kale. So these things you can feed on a regular basis. Okay, and yeah, so I think that's about it for your guinea pig diet. Again, you have to observe their poop. Okay, so guinea pig poop is like I would say, I don't want to spoil anyone's appetite, but yeah, it's like a rajma bean. It's bean shaped, and it has to be nice and glossy when it comes out. Okay, it has a nice sheen to it. So that poop is extremely healthy, great poop. If the poop is smaller in size, or they're straining to poop, or they're not pooping at all, you need to see a vet. Okay, for rabbits, they have round pellets. Okay, in that's what their poop looks like. If it's loose, if they're having loose motions, again, if they can't pass it, you need to see a vet. Eating poop, okay, coprophagy is normal in these guys. Okay, so they eat not every single piece of their poop, but there is a special kind of poop that they produce, which is called cecotrophs. Okay, so this has a high level of the good intestinal bacteria. It has vitamin B. It has a lot of nutrition for them. So that is why they eat it again and redigest it. Okay, so that helps in their digestion. So it is perfectly normal if they're eating their poop. Don't stop them from doing it. All right. So let's come to our tiniest ones. are hamsters and rats. Okay, it's kind of I'm going to just talk at par because their diets are pretty similar. Um, now when you're feeding hamsters, hamsters in the wild spend most of the time foraging for food. Okay, they like to dig around, they'll find, like they stuff it up their cheeks. They like to do these things, so let them do these things. Don't just give them a bowl of food and leave it there. No, you need to hide the food throughout their cage, hide it in the bedding, let them dig around, and that's how they're going to eat it. That's how it's a form of enrichment as well. So you hide it in, say, like a cardboard box. Hide the food in that, like make holes in it. So the hamster has to really open up the box to go in and find the food. Cardboard tubes, like the tubes of empty toilet paper. You can hide food in there. Also around their cage, like they have those multi-story cages, so hide some food in the top level. So that's how, even if you notice their behavior, they'll stuff their cheeks, they'll go hide, they'll probably have their little space, and that's where they empty it and keep it. So that's just, it's their natural behavior. All right. And so again, for them, in the veggies, you can give them broccoli, carrot, cauliflower, um, bell peppers, cucumbers. You get hamster pellets as well. Okay. Fruits, may there is apple, pear, melon. Now again, don't just fruits, not all the time. And for hamsters, avoid citrus fruits. Okay, they don't do very well on citrus fruits. So orange, kiwis, etc. Would is better to be avoided in hamsters. All right. So now again, pellets. So these guys would even need a lesser amount of those pellets. Okay. So don't stuff their bowls, or just don't fill up their entire bowls with pellets and expect them to eat, because they will eat to their heart's content, and then they will bloat up, and it's gonna cause a lot of problems. Okay. Now hamsters are also prone to diabetes, so just be careful when you're feeding them high sugary fruits. Okay, so that would be papaya, mango, etc. Just keep that to an absolute minimum. Like vegetables are great. Now with hamsters and rats, yes, they can have an amount of animal protein. They do have that in the wild as well. So mealworms, you get packaged dried mealworms in the market, which you can feed about like 2 or 3 mealworms in a day. That's great. They also, you can feed them a small amount of boiled eggs, like hard boiled eggs. So obviously your hamster's not going to eat an entire egg, but yeah, probably like a slice of a hard boiled egg is great throughout the day. It's a good source of protein for them. They also like chewing on nuts, so almonds, walnuts. Now don't I wouldn't suggest feeding them nuts every single day, but probably twice a week, like half an almond, half a walnut. Just let them sit and munch on it. It's great even for their teeth. They need something to gnaw on, like because obviously they need to keep their teeth in shape, so you get special wooden toys for them. Just make sure you're getting wood that is clean of any infections, termites, etc. You can give them again cardboard rolls, cardboard boxes. They need something to gnaw at. So let that make that available to them. Also, yeah, they can also eat some lettuce. So the veggies and fruits are pretty much similar for all these guys, except that hamsters, don't give them citrus fruits. Okay. Now this is just a whole list of no-nos for all of them, and I think for all pets in general again. So no sugar, so no shira, no sugary biscuits. Okay, none of that. Apple seeds, pear seeds, cherry seeds are toxic to all animals, so don't give it to them. Onion, garlic, chocolate, again, and no milk and milk products. Okay, you might think they love it, but yeah, no. So no milk and milk products for these guys. I think I've pretty much covered rabbit and rodent, uh, like the outline of their diet pretty much. If anyone has any questions for me, please let me know. You can, and I'm also going to be posting this video on IGTV and our Facebook page. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask there, and I can answer it there as well. Um, I think this has been a good session, and I'm glad a lot of you joined. I hope you guys have been enjoying these sessions, and if you have any other suggestions, if you want me to talk about anything else, please let me know, and I can have a discussion about those as well. So thank you so much for everyone who's joined in. It's been great. I hope I've helped you understand your pets a little better, and I hope to keep doing that. So thank you so much. I'll see you soon again. Bye bye.